Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DeLuSioNaL's Arcade. So you can see all the games are turned off here. We're actually at the Cradle of Aviation. Everything's dark. The reason why is because we're going to take you behind the scenes to show you exactly what we do. You know, it's going to be pretty brief and stuff, but it's really neat. I'm going to take you in the back and kind of show you like what I'm working on. We're working on some games that are back there. They have a team over here, staff, that is pretty dedicated to getting things working. So I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, so let's head to the back now. A little bit later, we're going to go ahead and, I'll show you some footage of everybody working on the games, preparing, but some of these games are like, I believe this one's George's. He brought it for everyone to use in the exhibit. I think it's pretty cool. It's from his personal collection. He also brought his play choice as well. So he does a lot of stuff on his own. The Pong is his as well. So it was kind of neat. But anyway, over here, we have a Robotron. This was working yesterday, and then I have never seen it working. He told me it was working yesterday. I believe him. And now it's having issues where it's just a white screen. So I believe that it's not getting power. Usually this all powers up and you see like something on the LED. I saw nothing. So tested power over here. I was getting weird readings. Unplugged it over here. You can see what I did. And I was testing the actual voltage on the power supply, and they're all wrong. There's like, it's missing +5 completely. So something's going on. It could be the bridge rectifier over here or something. But so he can rebuild it. I believe Arcade Parts and Repair has it. It's $42 for the kit, which comes with the transistors down here as well. But I'm not sure if he wants to spend that or if he just should go with the switching power supply conversion kit, which is $39. And that, will guarantee pretty much to work. This one, even if we rebuild it, it may still have some issues. So I'm not really sure what he wants to do. It is a museum, so who knows? Maybe he wants to preserve it the way it was supposed to be. But these are, it's an original Robotron board set. The monitor's working fine. I'll probably give it a recap. I believe it's a G07. No, I'm sorry, it's a K4900 in here. But you can see, I'll show you the front real quick if I can get on the other side. But yeah, still has all the dust in it. So it's probably sitting for a while, not working. And then he said it worked for a little bit. So could be the connectors as well. Sometimes you have to, repin everything and change out the pins on the board. There's kits to do that as well. So, it's going to be a work in progress, but it's in really nice shape. There's this side here. And then let me see if I can grab a video of the other side as well. So you can see this side here. Here's the other side. And then it does have some scratches down here, some gouges, but it's a survivor. It survived, so it's going to remain original. And then all this is original as well. And then the control panel, it does need some grommets. These are a little kind of loose a little bit. So I have grommets. I'm going to pop them in there once we get it running. And we have Gravitar as well. It's having issues. And pole position. Pole position is weird. It has this thing where there's like a track. The track is split in half. You can see it on the left and the right side. The game works. It sounds fine and everything. It plays. But it has like grass in the middle and the road is split left and right. So it could be a voltage issue. I'm not really sure. I'll show you what I did so far. I didn't really have all the parts I needed, but I did have this in my kit. So I did replace, this was all burnt up and kind of jerry-rigged. So I gave it some new connectors. This one here, you could see it's like a little charred. That's just evidence from the other one. I probably should replace that connector, but that's the original connector. This one here I replaced, but I replaced the whole block. This was all chewed up and burned up. Looks like this was replaced. This is the Big Blue. Normally they're this color here. That's why they call them Big Blues, but it actually says Big Blue. I think it's from Arcade Shop that he sells them. You can see on here. See it? So you can say nicknamed them. The newer ones he had to put on there, Big Blue. I think it's kind of cool. So this one still has to be replaced there. So basically we're addressing a lot of issues have to do with power in this game. You can bulletproof the PCB, where you basically, you can see the PCB right here. It has connectors, like some test connectors you can connect extra power to. I think they did, or they tried, like down here, you could see like right down here. Looks like someone already had it soldered. They were going right to the power to bypass, because the connectors tend to burn up. And then there's some cut wires on here that I got to figure out what's going on. So anyway, that's this board here, and has been repaired before. The graphics board on that was repaired, so hopefully none of the custom chips are damaged. I already removed everything, cleaned all the chips, slightly with deoxit, but mainly with a fiberglass pen. And it's still doing the same problem, so now I'm just looking towards power to see, if that's the case. So I removed the AR here, both of them actually. You can see them right over here. And that's what I'm going to be working on today, along with other stuff. But, it's really cool. I set up this little, this is actually my soldering iron from home, my desoldering station here as well, all my tools and everything. And, I just have it set up just to help them out. So, because I know they need a lot of help here. And my tools are down there as well. But, yeah, so back here, I'll just give you a quick little nickel tour. They'll have like spares. I think that's a pole position board, I think. And then they have other PCBs over here and, chassis and stuff like that we, take parts from. I'm going to show you on the other side because I have a whole bunch of monitors that I brought in. I brought those 4600s that were broken because they had one with a cracked neck board, so I figured we can take some parts and make some work. Let's go over here. See some games. These are actually, he brought them from the warehouse because, there's something wrong with them. They're either gutted, like this one here is gutted, so it has no coin door and stuff. We're going to make stuff out of this for the exhibit. So this one I believe is a Defender cab. It'd be nice if we could make this a cloak and dagger. That'd be awesome. But this here looks like a centipede cabinet that was painted over. It's in rough shape, but we basically jamatize it instead of throwing them away, and then we'll throw like a J-Rock or something in there and make it, make it something. So who knows what that'll be. Might be a multi-Williams, you never know. So over here, I put all the chassis. Like here's a Wells Gardner monitor. This one here on the right is a brand new tube. This is a burn-free K7000 that I brought over. The chassis actually is his. I capped it and everything, and it turns out it has a cracked neck board. So I swapped out my, worked on chassis with it, and it's working great. But I don't want to have my burn-free tube in there, so we took his tube. So, we kind of Frankenstein something, but it worked for one of his games. I believe it was Black Tiger. And then this one, this is the K4600. I already took the cards out. I think I have the cards here somewhere. I put them on the side. Oh, they're right here. So I have all the cards inside. I rebuilt all the cards, so they're ready to go. Up here, that's a 13-inch Nintendo that's working. So the goal is, for me at least, is to get, probably, 5 or 6 deep of fully working rebuilt monitors on the side here, along with the ones in machines that actually work, because I've recapped some in the machines as well, just to keep them, if they have to replace them for any reason, they just come back here and they grab it, depending what size they need. I'm also replacing the connectors on them. So these connectors, this one here is kind of an old proprietary one. So I'm changing them to the default ones that everybody's familiar with, so that way you can just plug and play. They can unplug it from the game, swap it, plug it in, and it's good to go. They don't have to worry about splicing stuff. So I'm repinning all of these to have the connectors that are proper on them. You can see on this one, I actually did change it. See how it's new looking right here? I changed that one out already, so it had something different in there. So I'm just changing them all, and my goal is just to be plug and play so they can just pop them in when they need to, because they don't have a tech here really that works on TVs. They have another guy, Andrew, that's a volunteer as well. I think I believe it's Andrew and Sons. He owns like a repair shop for TVs, and but still, I'm volunteering on my days off when I can to help him out with the exhibit. So that's all my stash of stuff I brought. Then I have a necked one over here, and these are other machines, by the way, that that I believe people have brought over that are their personal machines, and they're still working on them, or they brought from the warehouse, not really sure. I know this one is a guy brought this for the show, and then it ended up not working when he moved it, so you gotta look at that. But this one here, I got this one for free from the guy over in that raid video. I had a warehouse raid or a barn raid. So this one, you can see it's necked. See the glass coming out right there? So it necked on the board, it broke. So this tube is bad, but the chassis is probably okay. So his chassis, he had a cracked neck board, but this one, as you can see, is not cracked. So I'm gonna try to rebuild this in the future for them so that they can have, we'll just take whatever tube. They have tons of TVs. You can see over here, they have some over here, but they have a whole warehouse full of TVs because they do retro stuff as well, and they hook up all the systems to it. You know, you can see some Dreamcast right there and stuff. So, you know, I'm going to look through the TVs and find one that's compatible. I'm going to measure the yoke today on this to see what it is, and then we can go raid the warehouse and see if we can find something that's compatible, swap it out, and then get another monitor running for them and put it on the shelf. And the connector, this one's actually backwards. It's supposed to be the other connector on there. So anyway, I'll change it out, do what I got to do, but I'm just going to take all this off. I just brought this today from my house, so that's what I'm going to do. And all right, so let me show you some stuff we're working on. Everybody's going to be working. The crew's going to be working really hard to get this going, and then we'll come back for a final tour with all the games on, and I'll show you what they have so far. Okay, so this area here is where we set up following day, where we had everything out there. There's Seamus, he's working on Spider-Man. That monitor actually does not work. It was playing blind, so I took a look at it. I brought my equipment outside, and when I looked at it, it turned out it had a dead or cracked neck board. So I ended up just swapping the monitor. I tried fixing it, recapping it and everything. It didn't really work, so I still got to work on that with some spare parts that I have. You can see my monitors down here that I brought from home. And there's some side art that they have, so they put on some Tetris and Mario Brothers. And these guys, they do a bang up job. They're the staff that work there. They bondo, they paint, they align everything that needs to be done, control panel overlays, side art. It's pretty amazing, the stuff they do. So you can see here that they're measuring everything and lining it up for the final stuff there. And the results are great. Okay, you can see here I worked on a monitor, I'm putting it in. I did a whole bunch of stuff with all these games here that fixed them, and I also had my rejuvenation equipment everywhere, and degaussing coil and all that stuff. Right now I am working on a AR board. That's actually one of the two boards that are in the pole position. I actually worked on both. Here I am just capping it, but then I actually came across some resistors, and we're going to get into it now and exactly what I discovered, so let's continue. Okay guys, so I came across this here, and it says I need a 10 ohm resistor, and over here it says I need a 2.7 ohm resistor. So what do? In the package, there's a few of them, so you don't know what's what. So there's these little color bands on there. Can you see that? So those color bands, depending on what they are, is what kind of resistor it is. So these two are the same actually, and then I have a different one that I put on the side here. You can see that it's a little different than that. Focuses on there. See that? How they're different? So this one here, I have an app called Electronics Toolkit. You can actually download it. It's for free. It's right now I have a Droid, but if you have an iPhone, I'm sure you can download one. Just type in like electronics banding, to resistor, I think it's called on iPhone. I'm not really sure, but anyway, what you do is you match them up. So in this case, I have gold, black, black, and brown. So all I did was change it to gold, black, black, brown, and I know that this one is 10, which is what I'm calling for in the kit. The other one, I'll show you exactly what it is. So this one here, it has 2 gold, a violet, which is purple, and red. So I'm going to change this one to, right now it's to gold. I'm going to change the other one to gold. Right there. And then it has black and then red. All right, so that says, is it red? No, I'm sorry, it's violet. There we go, so violet. So that matches this now, and it tells me it's 2.7. So now if I look on my kit, 2.7 resistor goes in R5. In my case, that's fine, but the 10 ohm one that I just saw right here, that's going to go into, in my case, I have 35435. That's my, there's all types of different ARs on here. Mine's are R29, so R29 is going to have the 10 ohm. But that's how you know. So if you have the kit and you don't know what's what, that's how you do it. Just download that free app. Works great. All right, so I finished the first board. Looks great. Replaced those 2 resistors, one here and one there. Showed you the differences between the two. And I also reflowed these. Looks like the Sense mod was done on this, where they bridged these 2 and these 2. So I'm going to leave it like that. And it was burnt up, but I'm not sure if it probably burnt up before and they replaced it. But usually when this one here is burnt up, this is R29 on this board, it's because you have to replace the pin on the edge connector. So Just double check that if you see burnt stuff. I did see something burnt over there, but they may have already replaced it, not really sure. So that's this. And now let me just put that over there. And now this one is the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. Ooh, they soldered this on. Why would they do that? Can you see that? That's crazy. So I have to, if you see me desoldering that, it's because they soldered it on. But normally they just come off just like the other one did. I'm actually heating up the screw so I can turn it and get it off. Oh yes, it's working, it's working, it's working. Awesome. Guys, don't ever do this at home. Do not screw those in. I don't know why, I mean, solder these in. I don't know why somebody did that. It's just ridiculous. And this one, the threads are fine, so there's no solder in them. Wow. Hacks, gotta love them. So check it out, Seamus and I stuck in. It's funny, I was gonna have him order this. I was talking before, like, he can either pay $42 for that or $39 for that, and I was gonna suggest this. And he's like, hey, I have it. So you put it in.
Ordered it ready, because I knew
it now is on. This wasn't on before. So now it's getting power. So always start at power, ASAP. Always start at power. So it's working great. You can see over here. Probably dial in the monitor a little later. I'm going to turn off the thing, and it works. We're also going to put new grommets and stuff. But the sticks look fine. I'll just polish them up. We'll simple green everything, and we'll get this thing going. Okay, so I took a quick little break here. I'm actually repairing my son's RetroPie. Since I had all the soldering equipment out, I figured let me just do it. But basically he dropped it, and it looks like when I took a look inside that the battery, the rechargeable battery pad, had disconnected from the motherboard itself. It's actually running a Raspberry Pi Zero W, and I just kind of reinforced it this time with glue, and you can see here that it's running RetroPie on there. It looks really great. It's a 60 hertz display, and you can also hook it up to a regular TV with HDMI. It has HDMI out on the back, and you can use the actual unit there as a controller. So you can see here I'm running Blaster Master for the NES. I have all kinds of consoles on there that he likes. And you can see here I just got carried away playing, and it was pretty cool. But then George arrived, you know, and he said, hey man, we got to get back to work. I said, no problem, let's get back into this. And we decided to install some NVRAM on the Robotron, which is normally socketed. Sometimes it's socketed, sometimes it's not, but it requires a socketed chip there. So here I am removing the NVRAM. I'm using the air solder there just to remove it properly, and then I resocketed it in and put it in. And at this point, it was George's turn to do it. He actually wanted to install the battery. It had kind of like a janky mess on there for the Stargate that was outside. So he quickly used my tools, put it in, and did an awesome job putting in the new lithium battery with the holder. You can see it here. Came out really great, and it works perfectly out there. So yeah. Okay, so we're by the Robotron now. I actually took this apart. We put in the battery. I did that early. You can see right here. I was desoldering everything and just taking out the pins, because a lot of these kits that have the high score saves on them will assume you have socketed boards. Some of them come socketed, some of them don't. It's a crapshoot with all the Williams boards. This one just happened to not be socketed, so it did come with a socket. I put that in there, and then I put it on there nice and neat, and it does save high scores, and it's great. However, the controls are really sloppy and they're dirty. So I opened it up and checked it out, and the actual game itself, I mean, it's in nice shape. This is really, I didn't shine it up at all, and it looks really good. But you can see here, it's all rusted, and over years of use, spring rusted as well. So when I opened it up, the actual spring, and my hands are filthy because they're full of rust, but the actual spring you can see split. So let me turn on the light to give you a better idea here. So you can see how it split. It just split them right in half. So I do have replacements for this. This grommet right here, it's gonna go. But again, you know, the spring was broken, and you know, I'm just gonna clean up the actuators. There's just rust everywhere. I didn't want to take this off, but I may have to just to clean it up. You can see there's like, if I do this, the rust just comes right off. So I'm gonna take some simple green, get in here, clean this out pretty good. I might take the whole thing off. I think I can get away with just cleaning this like that, opening it up, and then taking these off. So I'm gonna remove these 4 bolts, take this out, and then clean it up, maybe in the sink or something, dry it off, and then put it back. But this has the same issue, I'm sure. It's not as bad, but I do have some brand new grommets for that, which I have right here. I mean, here's the old versus new, you can just tell. These I got at Arcade Shop, and what's cool about these kits is that they do come with the spring. So I have 2 springs inside here that I can use. So check it out, I took this off, and that's all dust and nastiness. So I'm gonna clean this up. I'll probably just end up just washing it out real quick with some Simple Green. We'll do that, and then you can see there's still some on here, and I'll get that out as well. All right, so I'm here with George, and George is showing you the stick that we had. This is actually the new version that we use sandpaper on, and this is the original. Look how rusted that is. It's pretty gross. So all we're doing is sticking it inside the chuck here. My hands are really full of gross stuff right now. You tighten it, and then you just put sandpaper, you can see right there, right over it, and you can already see it. Looks already amazing. So we're gonna keep doing that, and then we'll get it eventually to look like that. All right, I've moved on to the top now. We're gonna take some magic eraser, but in the meantime, these things right here are gonna be a pain to clean because these are the dust washers. They're actually embedded in the panel where there's a space, and they put the overlay on it, and they staple it down and glue it and stuff, and you can't get past it. So we're just kind of cleaning it, rotating it inside, moving it to the edge. It's actually, you have to take the joystick out to do this because with it in there, you can't get all the way to the edge. But it's working pretty good, actually. Better than I thought it would. Where I'm just kind of rotating it, moving it around. That looks decent, it really does. That one's pretty cruddy and gross. And this one, I just cleaned out, looks pretty good. So I just move it around to the extreme edge and then kind of just go all the way around. We'll put some magic eraser on top, and then we should be good to go. We'll put it back together. One thing, magic eraser tends to fall apart. But like I said, it's well worth it. You know, I prefer Simple Green because it really cuts through, but Windex will do as well. Some sort of cleaning agent that's not harsh. You don't want to bleach it. All right, that looks good. I wish I had more paper towels though. So I'll have to use some of the other ones that I had. And then I'm gonna get some of this gunk off here. And then we're just gonna go over it real quick. Okay, so I have this set up. It's not the best angle. I'm actually against the wall, so it's really hard. But I did clean it up. It looks awesome. George cleaned the glass. Looks awesome too. I cleaned the dust washers. They're good to go. So now we can go ahead and stick this joystick in there. There was a stripped, one of the screws got stripped, but so we'll try to work with that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but we'll try to figure it out. So this one goes on here, and I should probably rebuild it before I put the whole thing in. I was actually gonna do it in piecemeal like it was, but anyway, the first thing that goes in, there's like these plastic pieces right here. You can see one side is worn and one side isn't. The side that's worn was the one that's facing the grommet, so you want to put it down like that. And then the actual grommet is right here, the replacement. And I could have sworn these are like screwed in, but I guess, you know what? I think they get screwed in once we do the rest. Let me just double check. Yeah, there we go. There's like plastic inside. I'm gonna take it out. Okay. So yeah, this gets put down later, but it's gonna go in this way. There's 2 different directions. See, that's the back, that's the front. That goes in right there. And then we're gonna center all these like, there's all different kinds of stuff you gotta center up once you put in the, you know, the shaft. So we'll put that there. And then on top of this was the metal part, and you can see the part that's rusted and worn right here is actually gonna go on top like this. I mean, there's 2 of them actually, so you put that there. And then I believe this can screw right in there now. And in this case, I put the dot signifying what's what. So let me just double check what it is. Yeah, so this is facing up. I just wanted to keep it all original there. And then this can go right on top like that, and it kind of falls in right there. And that's how it screws in. So let's get that going there. Let me make sure that's all set. Okay. All right. So let me put these in. There we go. I don't want to screw it too hard, and this drill actually adjusts for that. Perfect. It's on the weakest one, which is 1. And that's torqued perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and stick these on. So they have these weird bolts. They're actually not wood screws. They're actually metal screws that go into another piece of metal that's on top. If you were to take the overlay off, you'd see it there. So it fits right in there. There we go. Let me put the other one. Actually, I'm going to leave that alone because there's a strip screw that I still want to reuse if possible, and I do not want it to be on the bottom here. It's just a pain to get to. Let me see if this will let me get to that one. Yeah, so just a weird angle. There we go. All right, so this one's installed. Let's get that top part in there. And we're gonna feel our way in here. So you have to get past this first hole and then kind of get to that plastic piece, which is down there. It's kind of a pain. It's possible though. And then moving everything around, getting past the grommet, getting to the metal part. Yep, I just got in. Awesome. And then the spring goes there. But before I do anything, I'm going to grab my other joysticks. I have 4-inch joysticks that are here. So I got these from Paradise Arcade. I just wanted to compare them to these joysticks here. So you can see them right here. These are brand new. And these, I believe they have drilled shafts because they were made for like RGBs that you can actually put in there and then put like a clear ball top. So I wanted to compare. So here's the original and here's Paradise Arcade. And it looks like they're exactly the same. So these are definitely 4-inch joysticks. I was worried that the ones in here were not because they felt a little short to me, but I guess they're fine. The typical Wyco joysticks that you see, or Wico like people say. I say Wyco my whole life since I was using Commodore 64 with the Wyco joystick I had. Anyway, I digress, but this is 4-inch. The normal one's a 3.5-inch. So this is 4-inch as well. You can see if I put these together like that, they're exactly the same. See how they both hit the edge here? So I don't need to use these. These are really nice, but I'm gonna save them for mine because these work just fine. So again, you know, I brought them just in case they had the 3.5-inch ones because I've seen games where people replace them and then they have the shorter joysticks. So these are really rare. But now Paradise Arcade makes them, which is the ones I had, and also Arcade Shop actually makes them where you can buy the whole joystick. They have reproduction Wycos now, which is awesome. So, okay, let me put this one on the side. And because the spring was broken on the other one, it was literally in half. The other one on the other side was rusted, so it doesn't really move much. I'm gonna get rid of these because when you do buy the grommets from Arcade Shop, these grommets right here, they actually come with springs. So that's the spring I'm gonna put in. So I'm gonna grab one of them. I'm gonna stick that inside here. That's right before, and the actuator actually goes on that. So here's the actuator right here. I'm gonna stick that in there. It's gonna press against it, and then the E-clip should go on top, and I need pliers to close them. And you're gonna have to hold it with your leg, I guess, and then push the actuator in and then push this on like that. And you don't want to let go because it'll fly across the room. So I'm holding it and then I'm just squeezing it together against the shaft. Kind of like that. Can you see that? And then you just squeeze it, pops in. All right. Oh man, that feels great. It's stiff, but it goes right to the center. It feels great. I can see it, look. These are Robotron. They're very harsh because they need to be broken in, but these are great. And the original ones, some of the rubber was coming off. You can see on this one, if you look really close, can you see the cracks right over there? There's cracks all along here. See that? That all cracked? That's cracked. See, I'll lift it up to show you guys. So that's a bad grommet. So that was in the right side for the firing joystick. The left one had it as well, but it was more rusted. And I think because the rust actually killed the spring that was in there. So this is the other one on the left. Again, I apologize for the angles. I'm usually better at that. But, you know, it's just how it is sometimes. These go there, that goes there. These all go grounded. Okay, looks like it goes through that too. This is a ground wire here. All right, so let me fix this. So again, you put the plastic piece in first. The side that's worn is going to face up, or up in my direction, but actually down, or up, down if you hold it this way. So that goes in there like that. And then we're going to put the new one. This is the front, that's the back. Pop that in there like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and screw these on. Oh wait, before I do that, I have to put the metal one. So it looks like this was facing that way. Okay. This one's a little tighter here. I'm going to have to see if I can work my magic. And that's facing up, that's also facing up. I put a dot so I know which way the joystick is supposed to face. All right, so that's in. Feels great. Now you know I'm going to fire up the game right now, just to try it. Oh, you know what? Because of the buttons, I forgot about the buttons. Oof. Let me go ahead and clean up these buttons. They're super dusty. I'm going to take them apart. All I do is do this. Okay, so that came out pretty good. And then it kind of just opens up like this. And this comes out. And then I'm just going to clean it with some Windex or a simple green all around it, get in there really good. Sometimes I soak them, but I don't have time for that today, so I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to take apart the other one, we'll clean it up, I'll put it back together, and we'll fire this thing up and see if it works and how it feels. Right here. Perfect. That's touching just fine. It's a little tangled here. There we go, now it's not tangled. Perfect. All right, let's test these out. I haven't adjusted the leaf switches at all. Let me go ahead and lock this in place. The high score save battery should be in there. The battery is actually eliminated with that NVRAM that we installed. So it should save the settings. Oh, they feel like a dream now. They're awesome. All right, let me adjust this so you guys can see. Hopefully you can see me playing as well. Awesome. All right, let's check it out. Oh, these are amazing. I can hit up, down, left, right, diagonal. So I can go, let's try it again. Up, down, left, right. This might be my high score right here because they feel great. Ooh, Oh, that was my bad. Oh, what? That was just my dumb playing skills. But you can see I'm kind of crouched over it because it really is hard to move. Excellent. Cool, so it's rebuilt. Awesome. Usually we have this whole thing filled up with arcades. We're gonna grab some more stuff from the warehouse, but for now, last couple, I guess this week and last week, I've been working on stuff. We have this closed off right now to the public. It will be opening on Saturday, but you can see we have games here like this is Jungle Hunt stuff. Spider-Man we're still working on. They're redoing the control panel, but I rebuilt basically, you know, all the monitors. This is actually my spare that I have from home, my 4900, fully rebuilt with everything, because their monitor kind of kicked the bucket, had a cracked neck board. So we're still working on repairing that. And then this here, you know, I'll turn on some light here so you can see. But this here has a K4600. This monitor was not working. I fixed this today, reseated some boards, connected some grounds, did some soldering, got it working. The board set itself needs some work where the background music doesn't play. Sound effects do play, but it doesn't do the Tarzan yell. So I gotta look at some ROMs, figure something out. But anyway, we may get this working. It is working, so you can play it. However, you know, it just has some issues with the audio. So we're gonna probably let it slide for this Saturday, but then the following Saturday is the 80s arcade night with the karaoke. So we wanna kind of get it working and come back on Thursday, Friday of both weeks, you know, just to volunteer and help them out. This is Spider-Man. I believe it's in a Konami cab. It's a Sega game. He's redoing the control panel. We're getting a new overlay because it is cracked underneath. Had original Wyco joysticks in there. And this monitor, like I said, was mine. You can see it has a Moon Patrol burn-in. That's the one I fixed in a previous episode, the K4900. Let's see. There's the back door of it. And then these are some K7000s we have. Black Tiger was having some issues where it was actually hissing from the back. But it's been corrected, it's good to go. I didn't fix this one. This actually was another guy, I believe a Polish guy, I can't remember his name, but he's a repair guy that's local to here and he kind of fixed it for everybody. He came yesterday. Was it Andrew maybe? Yeah. And then over here, I don't know if this is working or not, but you know, it is pretty cool. It's an original Gravatar and don't know if it's working. If it's here, it's probably that there's an issue with it. Pole position is working. They got that working. They just got to put it in the back. So that's great to hear because it's a classic. But you know, we have all the tools over here and stuff. Actually, I left this light on. Let me go hurry up and turn it off. There we go. This one is a nibbler conversion that we're doing. I believe it used to be a 10 spot. It's a game called 10 spot, 10 games in one, where it was this one before 10 spot. So we're just converting it into a nibbler just for the show. He ordered an overlay because the overlay was pretty much shot on that. So we're gonna put that on. It's not an exact fit, so I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna order a new one for this one here, but we wired up the buttons. It's running a, and this is gonna go here, by the way. We normally have the normal carriage bolts. This is just that we're doing a test, but it's gonna be completely stripped and then painted, probably white, and then it's gonna be white on here, and then on the top, we're gonna put the overlay on. So this he had ordered as well. This is a new bezel for it. He also ordered the marquee. It's all brand new. Side art, we just got to clean up the side, and I believe he has the side art over here. So we're going to apply, I believe Rockola, the way it goes, it gets mounted pretty high, like right over here somewhere in that area, right close to the edge there. Probably like right around there. So it's gonna look pretty good once they're done with it. And Nibbler works great. I'll show you guys real quick. We actually worked on this today, where let me start a game. It has the bit kit in there. You could switch games and whatnot, but we're keeping it on this one here. So it's the actual FPGA. It's not emulated. It's by Crafty Mech. Aaron does some great work, and then it's set where you put a quarter in with player 2 and then start. And it works just fine. Has a Wyco joystick in there. I think he got it from Arcade Shop. So we did that today. We wired it up and stuff. And I rewired the back to be JAMA, because this is just, like I said, a throwaway cabinet that he had. So I totally, you can see here, I totally rewired everything. So it's good to go. That monitor is all dialed in as well. So mainly I've been doing monitor stuff. I had to, you can see over here, I had my rejuvenator, my BNK. I brought my tools. I brought my desoldering. I did a few cap kits already. This here is a showcase cab we're still working on. The monitor is fixed on this. I think Andrew fixed it yesterday, and then we're just waiting for the board. He took the board to work on it. So the board's, you know, missing right now. He's kind of figuring it out. Then there's these that got working. So this is Space Invaders, took out of storage. Pac-Man had some issues. We fixed it. Galaga, Donkey Kong has always worked. We just got to set the dip switch settings too. You can see right here, it has 5 men. It should be 3. So I got to correct that. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker has been rock solid the whole time I was here. Street Fighter 2, same thing. He has another one in a white cabinet. This one here is in a black one. You'll see the other one in the back. Computer Space. You can see it's working. That's the one I had. If you guys missed this video, just click on the link above. I did a whole thing where George got it working for a show for the Retro World Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, I believe. So that's all original TV and everything. So looks pretty good. You know, we're actually putting LED lighting. That's what all that is. But he has everything. It's lit up. And this is going to be new. It's debuting at the show. He has an original Pong working great. So this is it. If you look at the controls, has the original spinners. I believe these to be original. I believe this one is incorrect, where he has to flip the actual connectors, because up goes down and down goes up, and they're supposed to actually be the same. So I got to tell George about that. He's actually on vacation now. He'll be back soon. But look at it. It's in beautiful shape. Looks really nice. Space Invaders. Here's another one. This is Space Invaders Deluxe. The other one was Space Invaders, the normal one. You could tell because this one's red, and it's also one piece, where Space Invaders is 2 pieces. So that's it right there. What else we got? We got Asteroids. It's working fine. I'm actually going to turn the light down a little bit. Asteroids. It's great how they have everything, since it is a museum. The side art's really going to be featured. Asteroids Deluxe is right here. That one's working fine. You can see it in there. Super Breakout is good. It's missing the gel overlay, but it looks pretty cool anyway. Punch Out, working perfectly. And that's looking great too. Mario Brothers is the one they worked on earlier. You know, you can see that probably right here where they're working on it and stuff. They're putting on the side art. It used to have Donkey Kong side art on it, and now it has Mario Brothers. Looks beautiful. Donkey Kong Jr. Defender's working good. I believe this has a J-Rock in it. They have the original boards in there, but to preserve them, they're using the J-Rock so it doesn't get messed up. Stargate, I don't know if it's on and working. No, I don't think they have. Is this on? Yeah, this one might just be either off, or I can't tell if the marquee's on. I can't tell. I don't know if it's that light on top or what, but anyway, Sinistar works. It has a couple issues, but it is turned off at the moment. Same thing with Joust. They just redid the side art here. That's a vinyl overlay, believe it or not. And then this is the original overlay, which has the cigarette burns, which I love. I love that crap. It looks great. Double Dragon in the title cab looks pretty good. Double Dragon 2. Spy Hunter we just messed around with a few minutes ago. We just dialed in the monitor. Looks great. So we did that, we fixed it. It's missing, for whatever reason, it's missing the music. It'll actually play down when you reset the game, but it will not play the music in game. So if you guys know what's going on, give me a shout in the comments. I'm really curious. Might be the squeak board that's in the back. People are saying to reseat the chips, replace some chips. I'm not really sure. But other than that, it works perfectly. And here's, it's in really nice shape. So Looks really nice, has new side art and stuff. Commando is having issues. I have to take a look at that probably on Thursday when I come back. Not really sure what's going on with that. Looks like this is the one that Tim guy restored. Tuning Com, he put the nice, he painted it and put the nice decal on it. So this one I think they got working. They just have it turned off at the moment. Same thing with Gyrus, works fine. They just have it turned off. Tetris we fixed the first day I was here. The monitor had issues. It had a cracked neck board. I did what I could to fix it, and I gave it a recap. It's a K4900 that was in there, and I repositioned everything, put some, you know, those magnets in the back to get everything all set with the, you know, with the linear stuff, and then put it all together, the convergence, and now it's looking great with the Atari in there. So this is out, it's all good. They put new side art, I believe, on this, so it looks really nice. There's little things like this that they left, but as far as this goes, this is new, I believe. What else is on here? Afterburner, I believe, is working fine. We have some more games back here. This is a Street Fighter I was telling you about, where it's the Championship Edition, just like we had up front, but this one's white. They're both Seamus's personal machines. I think it looks really good in white, to be honest, you know. It's in a Defender cab, so it was already converted when he got it, but it looked really terrible, and he said, hey, I want to paint it white and be a little different, and it looks really good, you know. Of course, they have the fighting games over here. There's still work we got to do with this. The buttons light up and everything, which is a nice touch, but over here, we just need to reconnect some of the lighting. These are off, but I believe they're working. Marvel vs. Capcom, we have all the fighting games in a section. Mortal Kombat works fine. Mortal Kombat 2 works fine. I might change the joysticks out to match. I have two red ones I could put in there. But we'll see. Tekken 2, not really sure if it works, but it's here. If it's back here, most likely they work. We have one pinball game. It's called Big Guns. You know, I'm not really sure the status of this machine. I'm not sure if we're even getting some loaners or whatever. Not really. I can't really speak for them, so I'm not really sure. Oh wait, they just put these in today. I didn't see these before. So they got the Super Mario Brothers. I believe Rob used to have this game. I think he sold it. I'm not really sure. I forget. Can't keep track. World Cup Soccer. We have an older one called Home Run. This is actually a really fun game to play. Kids love it. Shack Attack. And we got Narc, which is just a regular vid game. We got Final Fight on here, I believe. Not sure if these are working. We have to mess with the joysticks, see how they're different. So, you know, we still got a lot of work to do. Probably stay late on Thursday night as well. Here's a Ninja Gaiden. This is what I have as well. Mine is in a Midway conversion kit. This one looks like it was in a Defender conversion kit. So, pretty neat. I'm not sure what's up with it, if it's broken or what, but I do have spare parts and a PCB that works for that. So we'll see if we can get it running. Here's one that they're moving, Robocop. It's also Bad Dudes is in the same cabinet, so pretty cool. All right, let's go over to the front now. We'll go back. You can see it's in the museum here. This is a whole exhibit all around us where you can look down at people and go down the stairs and see all the exhibits down there, and it's pretty cool. So they're having this arcade event. They have it usually every year. Usually it's all year round. I think they put it away for a while, but now it's back. So it's returning and debuting on Saturday. So it's at the Cradle of Aviation if you guys want to go. Here's Strider. I believe it's in the track and field cabinet. A lot of this stuff they get donated to them, so they'll get stuff in bad shape, or they have to just, you know, the wizards put everything together and hack it all up to be a functional cab. So this one's Strider. Most likely this was converted before they got it, actually. But it works, you know. It's a really valuable game that's in there. It's the original game, original PCB. I think it's really cool. So that's good. Arkanoid, I believe it's tournament Arkanoid like I have at home. You know, in a decent cabinet. This is Vanguard. The sound wasn't working. I was going to take a look at it. I think it was just an issue with the speaker wasn't connected properly, or it fell out when they moved it. So I was going to look at the schematics today, but Andrew fixed it yesterday. I guess he figured it out that it probably was the speaker. So Vanguard runs fine. If I were to start a game, you can hear the music just fine. You hear it. So works great. This is Rolling Thunder, as you guys know. It does not have the original joystick like I have, but it's still decent. It works great. Colors are a little weird on this. I might have to dial it in a little bit. I'll probably do that on Thursday. Let's see, Missile Command. That one's working fine. You can see it right there. I'm gonna actually dim it a little bit so you guys can see what's going on. And then this is a Tempest. The spinner, we're probably gonna order a part for it because you can hear it does that little whirring sound. You hear that? So there's a little plastic piece of bushing you can get that you put underneath and it prevents it from doing that. But it works, so working Tempest is always good. Star Wars works great too. I think there's some issues graphically slightly. You know, it has some calibration issues we gotta work on too, see how it pulls to the left. But there's slight graphical glitches on the TIE fighters themselves. It's really hard to see. And it moves a little slow, so maybe by replacing the AVG chip, it'll fix it. We're not really sure. We'll work on that on a later date, probably next week, because Jason's gonna be down. He's gonna bring some spare parts for it, because he owns the Star Wars as well. Kangaroo is running perfectly, looks great. It's just a good looking cabinet. The game itself, I'm not a fan of at all. I think it's the worst controls ever, especially you have to jump it up. That's crazy to me. Crystal Castles, this may be mine one day. We'll see. If I own one, it's probably gonna be this one. It has a few issues, you know, cosmetically, where, you know, they kind of screwed because of structural issues. They put screws everywhere on it. It kind of, you know, messed it up a little bit. I would have at least put some white out on it or something, you know. But anyway, so we'll see. It might be a good restoration project to pick up. Everything works great. The monitor looks beautiful, you know, and it runs just fine. So yeah, it's a good game. I believe Richie Knuckles actually is the guy who supplied this to them. So Dig Dug, another great looking cabinet. Screams 80s, just a classic look to it. And again, I love how they just have the cabinets, you know, all out where you can see the side art and really appreciate everything. So you have a lot of room for this and stuff here. So that's Dig Dug. Centipede, again, another classic that looks beautiful, beautiful art, looks awesome. You know, the game's running fine. It's running the actual Centipede board, not Millipede with the conversion, which they eventually want to do. I think they want to convert it to a Millipede as well. They'll have to buy a Millipede board. Zaxxon, I believe it runs fine. Let's see if I'll hit player one. Yep. So that's running just fine. There's a lot of hate for this game. I used to play it on ColecoVision, so I kind of enjoy it. I don't mind the game. It's very hard, but I like it. Side art and everything looks great. Frogger also looks pretty good, runs just fine. I gotta mess with the monitor. You can see the colors are off. If you look really close, you can see like the frogs look a little yellow. They're supposed to be on the green side there. So I gotta figure out what's going on, but it just needs to be dialed in slightly. Qbert looks good, there's no issues with that. I believe the marquee was a cheaper one. You can see it's fading and stuff, so they have to get a reverse printed one eventually. The side art is in decent shape. You know, could use a couple touching up here and there, like here and stuff, but it's all original. So I told them just leave it. Don't mess with original stuff. It has a history. You're a museum, guys. These stuff here, this is already done by operators. That's not them, just so you know. They usually typically have this little button here. Where is it? I'm gonna show you one that has one. Let's see. Here it is. This one, for example, John actually has the credit button where he actually put the Cradle of Aviation Museum logo on there, and then it's easy coin up. You just press it, gives you credits, and you can play. So you can see it here too. It's right there. So I just started a game, see? So let me go ahead and put my name in. And it works great. So let's get back to this section here. We have Gorf after Qbert. It's running great. It has the speech and everything that talks. So it runs fine. Ms. Pac-Man, there's issues. This was a multi-panel that got converted. They converted it back to Ms. Pac-Man. I believe this has the Ms. Pac-Man fast version, but it's Ms. Pac-Man Plus. Is it Plus? No, Ms. Pac Attack, actually. Because if you go to it, see it has a different maze on it. I think it's cool. They changed it up. They had the regular version last time I was here. But I'm going to bring some button plugs. I actually have plugs that you can screw in here that have like a blank on it, so that'll be nice and smooth and no one can throw stuff in there. So I got to do that too. I have a list of stuff to help them with, but it is in a Pac-Man cabinet. But still, you know, again, they're a non-profit, so really cool. Space Duel, it's working, looks great. Beautiful control panel, looks awesome. And Space Invaders that we saw before, and of course the Pong. So we're hard at work, right? Hard at work. So we're here late. Just doing stuff, not too late. It's like late evening, I guess. But this is it. We just have all the stuff. This is stuff that we ripped out. You know, a lot of the stuff had issues where the grommets broke and stuff, and you know, so we're just slowly getting everything together and figuring it out. You can see PCBs and stuff everywhere, so that's it. So we're at the Cradle of Aviation Museum. You can see up here we have a plane. And if you guys want to see the other videos I've done, I have a whole playlist on this place where I did last credit videos where I'm playing the originals here and everything. So thanks again for joining us. We'll see if we have some more highlights, you know, as we go on with more stuff that we're working on. But for the most part, we're pretty much done. I'm probably going to cover the event once it happens. But other than that, this is it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. I have a group on there. You have to actually request to join. And then, of course, I'm on Twitter. And I have t-shirts. So if you guys want to order a DeLuSioNaL's Arcade t-shirt, everything goes towards the channel, all profits, all that stuff. I really don't make money on this. I try to disable ads where I can. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but lately I've been doing that to give less commercials because I can't stand when I work really hard on a video and then bam, a commercial will interrupt it. So, you know, I try. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.